Top 5 school shooters reacting to their sentences. It takes a truly heartless person to commit a crime as heinous as shooting up a school. No matter the motives that the killers eventually claim, it can never be truly understood. Looking into their eyes reveals the sort of empty, heartless disposition that only a killer can have. After they're caught, with their last moments of defiance in front of the jury, judge, and the families of the people they slew, their reactions reveal more of the evil lurking within. Number 5. First, we look at Devon Erickson. Devon was 19 years old when he entered STEM school Highlands Ranch in Douglas County, Colorado, and shot 9 people, killing 1 student, senior Kendrick Castillo. Devon was convicted of 46 felonies, including murder, attempted murder, conspiracy, burglary, and arson, adding to a total sentence of more than 1,200 years that he serves concurrently to his life sentence served without the possibility of parole. During the trial, teachers and parents of the victims, including the parents of Kendrick Castillo, delivered heartfelt remarks on the case. During all of those readings, Erickson remained silent and showed no emotion. When Kendrick's mother, Maria Castillo, was called to the stand, she delivered an emotional testimony condemning the shooter for the heinous crime he committed, as she cried, "It's been more than 2 years, and I've been in this courtroom for every court proceeding, sitting in the front row, looking at this demonic killer, and he shows no remorse. He's a cold-blooded killer, a domestic terrorist, and he deserves no mercy," said Maria. When Judge Slade was delivering his closing statements, he gave Erickson the chance to answer a simple question. Why did this happen?
You shall not possess or purchase any ammunition. You shall relinquish, appreciating that you are currently in custody.
In his remarks, the judge said that throughout the judgment, the killer had shown no emotion, save from one instant when his parents were listing the things that Erickson wouldn't get to do. Now that the sentence was being imposed on him, only then did he cry. Number 4. Now we look at the story of Sky Bouche, the adrenaline shooter. Sky Bouche was 19 years old when he decided to don a tactical vest and hide a sawed-off shotgun in a guitar case to sneak into the Forest High School campus in Ocala, Florida, in April the 20th of 2018. Bouche was a former alumnus of Forest High and, for reasons he later claimed were altruistic, fired once against a door, shooting a 17-year-old student in the ankle. After that, he immediately surrendered. When he was taken into custody, Bouche told the deputies he felt that he'd been ignored and that he wanted to go to jail. He said that he had researched school shootings and thought that the media didn't give them enough attention, so wanted to bring publicity to the situation. Bouche decided to act as he did. He later stated that he didn't have the intention of killing anyone. Number 3. Nikolas Cruz, the Parkland monster. The story of Nikolas Cruz is one of a troubled teen trying to take his angst down on the world. Born in 1998, Cruz was 19 years old when he committed the heinous act of shooting up Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. A troublemaker for years, Cruz was expelled from Stoneman Douglas High in 2018 for behavioral issues after spending years attending school programs for misbehaving children. Cruz was a red flag from an early age, and even as early as 2015, there were neighbors and family members calling the police and alerting to Cruz's dangerous behavior and the threat he posed. That all culminated in the terrible incident on February the 14th, 2018, when Cruz took an Uber to school, arriving at 2:19 p.m. on school grounds. He walked in with a school shirt on, carrying a rifle case and a backpack, and went straight to Building 12. Upon entering the building, a 3-story structure that occupied about 900 students and 30 teachers, Cruz took from the rifle case his AR-15 semi-automatic rifle and multiple magazines. He entered a hallway and began firing indiscriminately at the crowd of students and teachers. After that, he started going to classroom doors and shooting through the glass, killing and wounding people inside. After killing 2 staff members in a stairwell, Cruz went to the 2nd floor where he again fired into the classrooms. This time, thankfully, he didn't hit anyone. He then went to the 3rd floor where he shot and killed 5 students and another staff member and injured 4 more. In total, 17 people were killed and another 17 injured in what is one of the deadliest school shootings in America's history. After committing this atrocity, Cruz dropped his gun and blended in with the fleeing crowd. He then went to the mall to buy a soda and afterwards went to McDonald's. Police caught him an hour later. The police footage of Cruz being interrogated shows a completely deranged person when the sheriff's in the room, but as soon as he leaves, Cruz behaves normally again. His efforts to fool the sheriff and law enforcement that he was mentally ill were all in vain. He was charged with 17 counts of premeditated murder and held without bond. After the trial was delayed by the COVID-19 restrictions until September of 2021, Cruz's trial finally began on July the 18th, 2022. The defense team fought hard to take the death penalty off the table in exchange for a guilty plea, while the prosecution believed they could prove Cruz was deserving of the capital punishment. The trial ended on October the 13th, 2022, when the jury sentenced Cruz to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The jury ruled that Cruz was, beyond a reasonable doubt, guilty of the aggravating factors on all counts, but were unanimous on the aggravating factors outweighing the mitigating ones. Number 2. Michael Carneal. The story of Michael Carneal is the story of a teen without a heart. At the age of 14, Michael entered Heath High School in West Paducah, Kentucky, armed with a shotgun and a rifle that he hid in a blanket, passing them off as an art project. He also had a loaded .22 pistol in his backpack. When he arrived, Carneal put on earplugs and started shooting. He killed 3 students and injured 5 others. After that, witnesses said that Carneal simply dropped the gun and surrendered himself to the principal, Bill Bond. Carneal is reported to have said to the principal, "Kill me, please. I can't believe I did that." In his trial, Carneal pled guilty to the charges in exchange for a life sentence with the possibility of parole after 25 years. According to the deal, Carneal is to receive a mental health treatment for as long as necessary or until he's released. He was eligible for parole on November the 16th, 2022, but his hearing was scheduled early and began on September the 19th, 2022. He was denied parole on September the 26th and will remain incarcerated for the rest of his life. Number 1. Next, the story of T.J. Lane, the gunman who wore a t-shirt with the word "killer" to his own trial. On February the 27th, 2012, 6 students were shot at Chardon High School in Ohio, with 3 fatal victims. TJ entered Chardon High at 7:30 a.m., going to the cafeteria where the students would congregate before class. Armed with a .22 handgun, Lane shot 3 of his colleagues dead and injured the other 3, causing one of them to be permanently paralyzed. TJ was identified as a suspect by authorities late on June the 27th. He was detained and discussions began on whether he be tried as a juvenile or as an adult. In the end, the prosecution decided to try TJ as an adult, charging him on 3 counts of aggravated murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, and 1 count of felonious assault. His behavior in court was completely disgusting. On the first day of trial, Lane showed up with a white shirt with the word "killer" written on the front. He had the opportunity to speak during the trial, and what he chose to say shocked everyone. On February the 26th, 2013, Lane pleaded guilty to the charges for which he had been indicted. He was sentenced to 3 life sentences without the possibility of parole. That's all for today's video. What are your thoughts on the reactions of these criminals in court? Do you think they got what they deserved? Let us know in the comments section below.